Hello everybody, this is John, host of Mgtow is Freedom. Mgtow meaning men going their own way. That is to say, we're moving away from stupidity, moving away from indoctrination, moving away from being victimized as men by the system and by feminist bitches. Alright, so on this particular video, I'm going to do a video and a simultaneous unboxing of Glenlivet Founders Reserve. I was at a large liquor emporium yesterday and couldn't help but see this particular scotch. And one of the employees had a bottle open in back, so he brought it out for me and we had a sip. And I found it very satisfying, so I thought I'd buy a couple bottles and then share it with you. Anyways, this video is about men don't care. We just don't care. Men don't care. So, when I was ready to become a father, my doctor said that I was going to have son, and then I was going to have another son. Right? I had two of them, 2 years apart. Best damn kid you could ever want. And I wanted to make sure I was going to raise them to be men. I wanted sons. I got sons. And I'll tell you what. Pretty satisfying, both my sons and this scotch. We're going to do neat, of course. Wouldn't want the sacrilege of this first sip going any other way. So I wanted to learn about sons, how to raise men. Didn't want to make any mistakes in this particular environment, especially with all the confusion and bullshit. And this all started back in 2000, and my second son was born in 2001. Oh, yeah. What I learned about the difference between sons and daughters is that when sons are infants and they're laying in their crib, and whether they're scared or hungry, they cry. All babies cry. But there's a unique difference that has to do with the way boys are treated when they're in the crib and girls are treated when they're in their crib. Boys are left in the crib crying longer and sometimes not answered at all. But a mother, especially a mother, will run to her daughter and she'll pick her up sooner every single time. They've done the tests, they've done the studies, and the net result of this, the upshot is that girls are conditioned from birth, literally, to cry for what they want. And if they don't get what they want, they cry some more. They cry louder. They scream. They throw a fit. Whatever they can to get attention. And as they scream louder and more, in comes the mom. Right? In comes the mom. Dad says, geez, God, I love my daughter, but fuck. Right? I don't care. I want her to shut up. Anyways, the mom doesn't do that. The mom runs into the daughter. Boys are left there and it takes a lot longer. Or they just don't get any attention at all. But the daughter gets attention. So she learns and starts conditioning others around her to respond to her crying, which is her demand, which comes from her wants. And rather than deal with it, she cries. This, let's call it this pathology, develops through early childhood. The infant girl comes out of the crib and now she's in the playpen. She's downstairs. She's around the mom, and when she wants attention, she cries and she gets what she wants. Boys are left to their own devices. Boys, because they're left in the crib longer, actually will be quiet. They'll just stop fucking crying. They're like, well, that ain't fucking working. I'm going to try something different. I'm just going to lay here for a while. And that's where it all starts. The boy isn't being neglected. The boy is being taught a lesson. He's not being taught that he's not cared for or loved. He's being taught that crying doesn't get what you want. And so I actually did this with my sons. It killed me. I wanted to run in there when they're crying in their cribs. But I would just stand around the corner, a mere 2 feet away from them, and listen to them cry. Then they'd calm down. Then they would be quiet. I would peek my head around the corner like a dad ninja, stare at my sons, and they would just be laying there calmly, looking around, fucking with their hands or whatever they had in the crib with them. And they would just entertain themselves. That is a huge difference between a boy and a girl. So as they grow up, again, boys they get out of the crib and they're brought down, set on the floor in a playpen or whatever. And they, by their nature, by their conditioning, this is the nurturing aspect, learn to deal with stuff. They start problem solving. A girl, on the other hand, continues age 1, age 2, age 3, age 4. When they want, they cry. They demand to be heard and they demand to be satisfied. That is precisely what they do. So is it any wonder that as women get older, they continue to piss and moan, and when they don't get their way, they bitch, they scream, they raise their noise holes to a crescendo that pisses God off. He likes a fucking break, and I'm sure God enjoys a good scotch. So by time men get older, I'm done having children, was done a long time ago, raised my sons, that's what I've been doing. The continuing raising of children was not in my cards. 2 sons, I'm good. Lucas, you're going to need to... All right, here we are. So, women cry, piss, moan, bitch, and they get heard. What I get tired of is fucking hearing it. I have not liked listening to women scream since I was 10 years old, the crying and the whining. But there comes a point where as men, we just don't care. We get tired of hearing it. We don't give a fuck anymore. And that's what has happened with the feminist movement. Men initially gave in to the women 100 and something years ago, back in the 1840s, 1850s, 1860s, then 70s. They were giving in, thinking, look, we know what these women want. They're just fucking bitching. They're just making some noise. So we're going to give them what they want. And as soon as they get what they want, they'll shut up. The same way the baby girl in the crib shut up when you gave her her pacifier, or gave her some fucking milk, or gave her some Cheerios, these little babies. What those men failed to realize was the consequences. A woman, a full-grown woman, is very much like that baby in the crib. Once you start giving her what she wants, she will scream and cry for more as soon as she wants more or wants something else. That has been our problem with these feminists. And today, these young feminists, they scream, they yell, and they get what they want from women, from the government, from politicians. They're conditioned by school faculty who are doing the indoctrination and the passing along of propaganda. They're the ones that teach these young girls to scream and yell and cry. And then they are the ones that reward them with the attention they want by telling them how smart they are, how correct they are, how it ought to be. Right? The teacher tells the student repeats back, the teacher tells the student how smart they are and they have it right. The student believes they know something truthful. Fact is, they couldn't fucking be further from the truth. Giving women what they want is the last thing they need in order to have a good life. It teaches them to be complete and total tyrannical cunts. And it teaches them that all they have to do is bitch for it. So where we're at now, men have fucking had it. And I don't mean just me. I don't mean just old guys. I don't mean just guys in their 40s, their 30s, or even the fucking millennials in their 20s. Everyone's fucking had it. We're tired of hearing it. We don't care anymore. We don't care about their bullshit. We don't care about their propaganda. We don't want to fucking hear it. Now, what's amazing about this problem is we're not talking about an infant girl that's crying and screaming. We're not talking about a toddler. We're not talking about a preschooler or a grade school kid or a preteen or a teenager. We're now talking about college women. Women who are just out of college and in their 20s. They have had 20 plus years of being trained to scream and yell for what they want. And when they don't get what they want, they scream even louder. Now, as men, what the fuck do we do about this? First of all, we can understand the problem. The problem is the social conditioning combined